Hey Zen fam. So, all the shenanigans going on recently with the whole Microsoft buying Bethesda, buying ZeniMax and getting Bethesda and blah 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 blah. Everybody's running around with their hair on fire going, oh no, what will this do for exclusives? No, Bethesda games won't come to PlayStation. Right, everybody take a deep breath. Okay. Calm down. Point one. For the moment, at least, in my personal opinion, the next few games from Bethesda and other such companies that were already slated to come to all systems will still come to all systems. So, your next Skyrim, a few other Bethesda titles, all the things that they've spoken about over the last couple of years that are meant to be coming, your Starfield and so on and so on and so on, they more than likely will still hit on PlayStation. Okay? Now, there's a good chance that most of the games that the ZeniMax aligned studios make will probably still come to PlayStation. Why, I hear you ask? Simple answer really, capitalism. By December, okay, bear in mind, we're 3 months into 2021. By late December, okay, of 2020, the PlayStation 5 had already sold something like 4.1 million systems. Now, okay, yes, a lot of those were to scalpers, but some of them were to guys like me. In fact, quite a few of them were to guys like me. And more are coming. In fact, more have come. At least here over this side of the pond, we've had about 3 or 4 stock refreshes. Now, yes, okay, scalpers got into some of that, but not all of it. And demand is strong and people want these next gen systems. They want their Xbox Series X. They want their PlayStation 5. So demand is there, okay? And if there's all these systems, and as it's looking at the moment, it's looking like PlayStation sales are still ahead of Xbox sales. So there's no official numbers, but that's the general sort of word going around that there's a bit more PlayStation sale than there is Xbox sale. Mostly because of the way the Xbox was handled last generation, which you can kind of understand. Because even though the Xbox One was technically actually quite a good machine and could do a lot, it kind of had rubbishy messaging and that knackered it for almost basically its entire generation. Games didn't happen, some games got stopped and all the rest of it, DRM, all this stuff. You don't need me to tell you use this. Use a source, you're switched on. Right? But here's the thing, right? People are going, oh, PlayStation will get these games. Yeah, but there are games that Sony has from Sony partner studios that Xbox will get. As a Sony guy, right, but not a fanboy, I'm just a Sony fan, I recognise that I will, unless I pony up the cash for an Xbox system or a PC decent enough so I can play Xbox Game Pass games, although I don't like playing on PC, that's who I am, then there's every chance that I will never get to play the likes of Sunset Overdrive, of Rise Son of Rome, I will never get to play the new Bethesda titles that are coming out beyond the next 2-3 years. And you know what? Fine. As a gamer, I have to realise, and I would charge yourselves with the same thing. This is an unpopular opinion, But I made my bed, I'm gonna lie in it. You know, I cast my stone, and I cast it with PlayStation. Have done every generation. I really like PlayStation. Now, that's no slight on Xbox, as I have stated in many a video. I have no problem with Xbox, I have no problem with Nintendo, I have no problem with PC, mobile. However you game, whatever brings you joy is what brings you joy. Go on, be your bad self. However, I made a choice for PlayStation, which means there are some experiences I just will not get. And I made that decision, so ultimately I have to be fine with it. Well, let's take it right the way back. Let's go back to the days of the SNES and the Mega Drive. There was games that were on SNES because it was Nintendo, and the games that were on Mega Drive because it was Sega. And for the longest time, never the twain would meet. Now, yes, there would be some cross-platform stuff. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, you know. Some games would appear on both systems, you know. But there was a lot of system exclusivity, because that was part of how these machines were sold. Only on Sega will you get this. Only on Nintendo will you get that. I mean, hello, Mario, Star Fox, Metroid, you know. But then Sonic, you know, Streets of Rage, I think, you know, there's always been this thing that the company that has the system has games that are only available on that system, because if both machines had everything, then eventually one machine would die out and there would be no progression in the industry. Now, yes, it sucks that I can't play some of the choice Xbox games, and there's Xbox people that will never get to play the joys of, say, Death Stranding. You know, they'll never get to play Horizon Zero Dawn. They'll never get to play Detroit Become Human. You know, but that's the decision the Xbox people made. They sat there and went, right, I'm going to go with Xbox because I like the way that system works. I like that ecosystem, I like the ethos, I like the controller, yada 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 yada. Whatever it was, the filling of their decision sandwich, that's where they went. Fine! You do what makes you happy. Make your happy happen. It's your money. But what you really, I don't think should be doing, and bear in mind, this is my own personal, probably unpopular opinion, but if you've made that decision, then that's on you. It's not on the developers, it's not on the console makers. If you chose Xbox, you chose Xbox. If you chose Sony, you chose Sony. If you chose Nintendo, you chose Nintendo. If you chose PC, you chose PC. And if you're a gamer like me, on a limited budget, you can't afford two machines. I mean, I can't afford two machines. I mean, I work full time, I have a family, I have a house, you know. Got to pay rent, got to do, the gas bill, the electricity bill, got to pay council tax, TV license, phone, cable, all the gubbins of life that need paying for. I've got to do that. So I can't go rushing out and buying two 9th generation systems. I mean, this PlayStation 5 that I'm currently recording this video on, I saved like a monkey for. I put the money away, put the money away, put the money away, slowly but surely, because as someone who has a deep love for this industry, I knew this machine was coming, I knew it was going to be expensive, and I actually thought it was going to be a 500 quid machine, so I put more than 500 quid away. So when the system actually came out, it being 450 quid, give or take, you know. I was ready for that, and I was, prepared and happy, and I actually had a bit of money left over. And then I got the points, as well. And being a Game Elite member, I got even more points than I would have got before. So I've still got like 95 quid on my game account ready for when the memory expansion comes. See? Forward planning, guys. Anyway, I'm getting a wee bit away from the point here. Fact of the matter is, alright, I've not got the space and enough time or the money for 2 systems, alright? I've not got the time because, I've got a job and a family, and this YouTube channel, and my Twitch and my Twitter and my Snapchat, not my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Redbubble store, which I'm always trying to think of new content for, I'm like, I'm doing all these different things in all these different places. There's only so much Zenblock to go around, alright? And then, if I'm going to buy 2 machines, then that means I've got to support 2 lines of software. You having a laugh? No, it's like, and then I'd have that internal debate. What if I'm playing a multi-platform game? What system do I get it on? Don't need that level of stress and indecision. It's bad enough trying to figure out what I have for lunch. Oh God, it's like I get enough decision paralysis of I've finished that game. What am I going to play next? If I finish that game, what do I play next? And what system do I play on? No, I don't need that another level of complication in this existence. Thank you very much. Not only that, I've run out of HDMI ports in the back of my deli. I've not got enough HDMI ports. Now, admittedly, at some point, the PlayStation 4 will go. Once I've got through the rest of my backlog on that machine, and I'm fully slowly about the PlayStation 5, But there's every possibility that I'll probably not sell it. In fact, I've been strongly considering that once I'm done with it, I'm going to see about getting a cheap telly and get it to my boy. Because he loves the PlayStation too. It's kind of neat. It's really seen him develop the last sort of year or so as a gamer. It's been kind of cool. And it's like he actually plays stuff other than Minecraft. And he's got him playing like Lego Worlds and stuff. And I even caught him playing Steep a couple of times. Actually developing some gamer taste. Thank God. Anyway, so I haven't the time, I haven't the resources, I haven't the HDMI ports, 2 systems. So I made my bed, I'm gonna lie in it. And that's what it really comes down to. Yes, it would be nice to be able to play everything, but you just can't, unless you want to pony up for 2 systems, 3 systems, 3 systems of the PC, whatever the case may be. Let's say you're a big one for mobile games, and there's games that don't work on Android and they only work on iOS, or vice versa. Does that mean you have to go buy an Android tablet and an iOS tablet? Hell no. That's just crazy talk. 2 tablets with 2 different operating systems just so you can play different mobile games? You're having a giraffe. You really are. Look, what's the really good? There's good things that have come out of this, ZeniMax acquisition. The fact of the matter is, there's now more money being pumped into these companies. And the more money that's pumped into these companies, the more that elevates game development. And the more game development is lifted, that means the other studios have also, pardon the pun, got to raise their game. So if everybody's working extra hard, to keep up with the expenditure of Bethesda, then maybe, just maybe, these games that we're getting for the rest of this generation may actually be worth the 70 quid that's on the price tag. Maybe. So, we get more compelling worlds and much more realistic, worlds that, like, react to us in a more realistic manner, Less janky physics, more convincing AI, weather patterns that, like, are more realistic and stuff, and, real world effects, like weather patterns and stuff, and, animals and insects that move around us, with their own intelligence and guided by their own sets of rules, Really clever things is like, maybe not so much big worlds, but more intricate worlds, which is something that some of you who have been here a while, I've known that's something I've advocated for. It's more intricate worlds. Like when I made my Grand Theft Auto Edinburgh video. So Edinburgh's not that big a city. Edinburgh's like about 8 mile across. It's not like San Francisco or London. It's a smaller city. So you can get really deep with the detail. And that's why I've proposed that idea. So I think, although it's gonna suck that, like, in about another 2 to 3 years, I probably won't get to play any more Bethesda games. Probably, but maybe not. Maybe because capitalism, I'll still get those games if the PlayStation sales remain above the Xbox sales. Or, and here's a crazy idea, Xbox decides to become purely a service. Yes, you can buy the machine, but they turn themselves purely into a service model. So, like, you can have the Xbox service on the Xbox machine, and it probably might get a little bit of extra bells and whistles through it. You'll be able to save your progress or something, or there'll be some clever thing that makes having an Xbox that little bit more delicious with the Xbox Live. But chances are, they might become like the next Epic or EA Access or whatever. They'll become a storefront that's just available everywhere. And then I can play Xbox games, but I can play them with a DualSense, because, as I've said before, although I have no problem whatsoever with Microsoft, I can't do offset sticks. I just can't. No, it just doesn't fit well in my brain. It doesn't fit well in my hands. So yeah, I like my symmetrical sticks. I like my DualSense. It's, honest to God, it's the best controller I've ever had. And I said that about the DualShock 4. I thought the DualShock 4 about that. I thought they're not going to do better than this, and then they bring out the DualSense, and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, I'm going a bit rambly here, guys, but here's the main crux of it, right? You bought an Xbox, be happy with it, you're getting these games. You bought a PlayStation, be happy with it, you're getting these games. Now there will be a little bit of pick and choose from both, but there will be some games that you can't have if you're on the other system. Okay? It's that simple. Live with it. You've got no other choice unless you want to pony up the cash for another system. Don't go crying about it, don't go making comments, don't start console wars and inflame comments all over the internet. Because realistically, what's it going to get you? None. You're not going to make any friends, you're not going to influence the people. All you're going to do is stir up more bad feeling among your fellow gamers. And as I've stated many times in the past, we don't need to make enemies of each other. We, as gamers, we have enough enemies outside of gaming. So, inside gaming, let's try and be a wee bit more like the family we can truly be. So, if you've got an Xbox, just know that you can't play Horizon Zero Dawn. If you've got a PlayStation, just know that, like, there's equally as many games that you can't play. And that's the decision you made. So try and be a wee bit of I hesitate to use this term, a grown up about it. Because I'm not a grown up. Aye, I'm 46, but I'm not a grown up, let's face it. You know, I just happen to be a bigger kid. Okay guys, I've rambled on for a little bit longer than I meant to, but I think I've made my point fairly clear. Make your decision, be cognizant of it, and live your life, and play your games. Okay guys, you can have a good discussion about this in the comment section down below. Get that typing fingers away. Obviously, please share this around. I'd like this to be a wider discussion. And I'll end this video in the manner that I always end them. So, hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.